Morning. In case you're new to the channel, we're touring America in our self-converted Sprinter van, and we recently crossed the border into Canada. But not long after, our back left two dually wheels came loose, and now we've got two badly damaged rims and no way of moving from this location, which isn't the end of the world, but we found some cheaper wheels in America. So the plan is to get those ordered this morning, along with any other parts that we need, and then figure out a location just over the border where we can have them delivered, and then hopefully be out of here in the next few days. But it's time to get some coffee and figure out how we're going to fix our van. There you go. It's currently 6 PM and we haven't left the campsite yet. Nicole works until 2 in the afternoon every day, and I usually use that time to edit videos. But today it was the border crossing video, so I wanted to make sure I got it right, and we didn't get off work. Both of us worked until about 3 PM. By that time it was just baking in this van. You know, when you're sitting in the full sun, because we want to try and get as much solar as we can because we can't drive anywhere. So after that we ended up jumping in the creek, which is ice cold, and it felt really nice. But we're using the opportunity to shower, and we've got access to water over here. So I'm filling the tanks up, and I'm also running the van while it's sitting here because we have a second alternator on there, and it charges the batteries in a matter of hours. You know, if Nicole made lunch, we're having hot showers, we're going to use a lot of battery life. But we've managed to drive it from over here to right here, but I'm not sure I'd drive it too much further than that unless I really had to, which I will have to at some point because I have to take it into town for somebody to fix it. But it's almost dinner time, and I've got to finish filling these tanks and then take a shower. We've all been dying to take a shower. So when I last had the camera out, it was about an hour ago, and I told you that I was filling with water, and I was standing here at the back of the van with my dad talking, and I could hear this creaking sound, and I look around, and the cabinet here is expanding as I'm talking to him. These gaps are all opening up. This is loose now. And I'm looking at it and I'm freaking out, like, what's going on? The van's expanding, and I couldn't figure out why it was doing it. And it turns out that I have this tap down here. So when I'm filling with water, I have to open that tap to let the air out of the tank. And I hadn't opened the tap before I started filling the tank with water. And so I released that tap really quick, and as I released it, it blew the bottom of the pipe off. Water came pouring out the back of the van here, all over the step. It's dried out now because my first reaction wasn't to grab the camera. My first reaction was to deal with the situation. So there's not much to see right now. The next thing I know, I pulled the hose off where I fill the tank up, which is here, and it came blasting out of there and against the door. I mean, there was so much pressure in there. And so I dove forward and I held my hand over it, and I couldn't move, and it's pouring out the bottom of the van there. So I'm yelling through to Nicole to turn the taps on to get as much water out of the tank as quick as we can. And then while all that's going on, the harvest host, which is the owner of this property, comes driving down to see how we're doing. Meanwhile, our grey tank has started overflowing because we've got all the taps going trying to get water out of the tank. And so he's wondering why there's bubbles on the floor. And I had explained, well, I mean, I didn't have to explain much because you could see what had happened. It was an absolute disaster. So the good that came out of it is that it's going to force me tomorrow to pull all of this apart, make sure it all dries out, and also pull all my tools out, get all the dust off them, because I think I said it in in one of our earlier vlogs, that the dust swells around back here and it just gets all over my tools and all of my toolboxes. I wish I'd grabbed the camera because it would have made some good film, but in a situation like that, you're just in survival mode. You're just trying to figure out how to fix what you're seeing. It was looking pretty grim for a minute there, but I think tomorrow things will look better. The day may have been uneventful on camera, but we did manage to break plenty of things on the van to keep me busy tomorrow fixing them. So we'll fix as much as we can tomorrow so that when the wheels get here, middle to late next week, we can get on the road as soon as possible. So we're going to get to bed and get up early in the morning and get to work. So we'll see you tomorrow. Good night.